My oldest one earlier was crying because he's so happy, because this is the first time he'll have a home.
This week, Teodora is getting a new home, and for her, it's beyond her wildest dreams.
My life has changed. This is what I needed. I needed a house. So totally, my life has changed.
There's a group here working on this house right now. Primarily, it's a group from Edmonton, Alberta. They are a group of carpenters who currently work for a custom home building company in Edmonton, Habitat Studio and Workshop.
Yeah, so where's that though?
We are leaving in, what is 4 days? We're bringing our own tools. We usually do that just because it's easier at the other end. So we're weighing our bags and making sure that we're not over 50 pounds. But this is going to be a good experience and get ready for culture shock.
Well, this is our day-to-day information wall. Most people can just put whatever they want on here. But when the new year rolls around and marches start to get closer, we fill it with what we're doing in Honduras. So this is photos of the road in, the existing house that was there. This is the conditions and stuff that they lived in. Honduras all came about through a friend of mine at my church actually. She came to me one day and said, after we here at our company have been thinking about doing something to build a house somewhere, she came to me and said, I have somebody who has some money they want to donate to build a house in Honduras. And I said, you got to be kidding me, because we're looking to go somewhere and build a house for somebody, so I can provide the manpower if you have the funds. So that's where it all started.
I love giving back in Edmonton, but it's a lot of fun to give internationally. Honduras, it's so sad. They just don't have our social programs. They don't have what we have here in Canada. We are so lucky. I ask myself many times, why am I so lucky to live here?
We know how to build houses, so that's what we do best. Let's do it for somebody else.
My expectations are to gain some perspective, maybe be a better dad, because I appreciate what we have and how fortunate we are here, and try and instill that in my children.
We overnighted in Houston. We hung out and had some good eats last night at a little mom and pop rib place. Really looking forward to hot, humid. Sign me up. I love it, love it, love it. I'm going to regret saying this, but I love it, love it, love it. We'll see what working in it's like.
One of the team members is a project manager. Myself, I'm the estimator. Trevor's the lead designer. Peter Brown, who's coming from another company, is just a product manager guy from Timbertown here in Edmonton. And we have another carpenter coming who works with Habitat Studio, Bernie, as well. So a journeyman carpenter. So quite a range of people, from office staff to field staff.
I like to take our team down there for our experience as well. We're not just, I'll say, blessing a family in Honduras, but we're also educating and really opening the eyes to all our employees. We give every employee the opportunity every year to go. We put it out and say, who wants to go next year? And of course we have a room full of hands that go up, but it's also for us. You will come back touched, you will come back a different person. You will have seen things, not like they're bad things, but that you've just never imagined or have ever seen before.
Well, one of our buddies just found a scorpion. Yesterday we found a tarantula. That was kind of cool. And now he was playing with a scorpion. And he's still playing with the bloody thing. Hey, amigo, amigo. See? I'm not touching it. Hey? He's crazy.
Teodora is a single mom. She has 3 boys, teenage boys, and she lives in poverty in a small shack, basically in the mountains of Dos Caminos in Honduras. Many of her neighbors are in the exact same situation that she is in. There's often no work or very low-paying work. There are many single moms living in the community. There are some fathers, but generally they don't have work.
Unemployment here is very bad. A lot of these factories have closed down, moved to different countries because of cheaper labor, and but it'll get better. Factories will go and then others will come, and it's just a matter of just waiting and see what the situation is going to be with this new president that we have. But I see Honduras getting better maybe in five years.
Teodora was married and had a husband, the father of her 3 children, but it's very common here in Honduras. The men get tired of the same woman and tend to move on to a new one, and a new one, and a new one. So what happened to Teodora is that, yes, her husband found another woman, a younger woman generally, and she had to leave the home. She was basically kicked out by her husband, the 3 boys as well, and had to find alternate accommodation. And again, with no money, that's a very difficult task.
Yeah, when he was already in love with another, girl that we had in the house, he just told me that, to get out, take my 3 sons with me, and he kicked me out. So I had to rent a car, and that's where I end up, right here, where I'm living right now.
And 2 of the boys, the younger 2, are going to school. The older one, the 15-year-old, is not able to go to school. He's in secondary school, and secondary school in Honduras is not free. And so Teodora would have to have the funds to pay for him, not only to attend school, to register, to buy the books, but also the uniform, the shoes that are required to attend school in Honduras.
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation when we saw that she just lived in a shack and a dirt floor. So it was a situation that we decided that here's where we're going to build the house. Yeah, when the pastor came down here 2 times and checked on me, that all the needs that I needed, I was surprised when he came down and told me the good news that that I was going to be the one. The chosen one to for a house. But I kneeled every day and every night and cried and prayed and to Jesus that to give me a home, and I got one now.
The inside of the house is very uneven, so we asked the locals here, where can we find some dirt, and they're like, well, make the road wider. So here we go. We got a few guys with shovels and a wheelbarrow, and we're gonna make the road much wider. It's something in Habitat, it's a passion. We love to build homes. And in Edmonton, we get to build beautiful homes for people that can afford it, and that allow us to be really creative. And you go to Honduras, and it's just raw. The homes are like what we build, little sheds here in Edmonton. And it's fun to go and just do something that's completely different than what we do here in Edmonton.
This year there are 6 Canadians that came together, plus 2 females who came along to help with the logistics, a little bit with the language. Well, this is a receipt from the purchases that we made yesterday, but when it was translated into English, it says construction gets married of 2 roads. We have some concept groins and 12 boxes of metallic average taking.
In Honduras, we can build a house for $10,000 to $15,000, all in, material, labor, everything. We can't even build a shell of a garage here for that.
So the house is built off center. So this wall, which looks like it's in the center, is not in the center, which means you need to build a triangle on one side, and on the other side you have an unequally sloped roof, which sounds simple, but is actually a little bit tricky.
When we arrive, the concrete work is done. They hire out some local trades to do all the concrete work for us. And the only reason we would do it as well, but it would just take longer. The concrete work, you know, has to set up and sit and cure and things like that. So we just like to have that done ready for us to go. And then we just hit it full speed.
It's been really good. I'm pleased with what's happening. I'm a little disheartened that the floor wasn't ready, so we worked our butts off trying to get caught up. But no, I'm looking forward to getting the steel on today. In case the sun comes out, we have shade.
I grew up on a farm in northern Alberta, quite a ways away from Edmonton. And, you know, we were farmers, so whatever needed to be done, you had to do. So if we needed to frame, we framed. We needed to wire, you wire. You needed to do plumbing, you did plumbing. You needed to fix a truck, you fixed a truck. So all kids kind of learned how to do a little bit of everything growing up on the farm. So it makes me think of that a little bit, I suppose. We work a little harder here because we're on a very tight deadline, but yeah, all's going well. Only one minor incident so far. The screw gun fell from the sky and hit Bernie right in the coconut. Oh!
I'm not so worried about going off into the boondocks, other than being mindful of injuries.
He'll be okay. He's tough. 2 accidents in one day. Cuts his finger and then. That's waiting for you guys to get out of my way.
Okay. Sorry. Yes, this day 4 construction and progress is going really well. We got the drywall pretty well done, and now I'm doing some mud work.
No, it's just that the gangsters are asking for a tax on most of the small businesses. So yesterday they were at the entrance of those caminos putting some signs up. They're going to be picking up taxes on certain days. If they don't pick up the taxes, then they collect their money they're asking for. You know, they automatically will, you know, they'll probably hurt you or do anything for us. The schools are not going to have any classes today because of that, because of the teachers that were hurt. Let's try to be careful not to show too much of. Try to keep it over here.
Okay, here we go. What do you need? Yeah, but you got this whole. Where's that other line?
Well, right now we have Scott and Bernie putting drywall on the ceiling with a helper. Norm and I are trying to finish the electrical. Peter's working on the plumbing, and he's got 2 helpers, and all the fellas from around here are working on the concrete work right now. We had a bit of a rocky start. We didn't get our material on time, as per usual, on Monday, so we had to wait for a little bit. But after we got it going, then we seem to have caught up. So we're pretty much on schedule now. I'd be upsetting all the bees up there. I don't see it yet. My arm's getting tired, man. Sounds like it's like here. Oh, I felt it. Success.
While there's a concrete floor, there's a wall, there's windows, and it's just that in this area alone, that's huge, huge, huge. When we got here, it was like, wow, we got a big job ahead of us. but we got it done. So, you know, with a lot of good teamwork and everybody kind of just buckling down and pushing hard, we got it done.
Y ustedes han traído esperanza a Honduras.
You have brought hope to Honduras.
Nosotros como hondureños estamos alegres y gozosos con Dios por lo que ustedes han hecho.
As Hondurans, we are very happy for what you have done here.
Just as the pastor was speaking and praying over us, and to be perfectly honest, I don't know what all he was saying, but it was awfully powerful and not a dry eye in the floor. Now that we're finished, everyone feels terrific. We had a good night's sleep last night. Everyone was able to just finally relax for the first time in a week and not have to think about it as they slept. And now that it's over, everyone will just ton of weight off our shoulders and just a huge relief and happiness everywhere.
The entire community is impacted by a group of people that, like us, that comes into a community to help with the building of a home. It's an encouragement, I think, to those around, the neighbors and family and friends that see this going on. They realize that there are people out there in the world and that care about them and their little community and their town and their people.
The message is there's always hope. The message is never give up. The message is do a little bit more for mankind.
And at this time we want to present the keys to Teodora.
Un aplauso. Ahora abre la puerta de la casa.
I'm very, very happy. I think I'm walking on air.